I'd like to welcome everybody here to 320 Geneva. My name is Matt Sisko. I am the Mayor of the City of St. Catharines. It is my pleasure to be an MC today, a role that I seem to be picking up more and more often. Before we begin, I do want to acknowledge a number of the distinguished guests who have joined us here today. First of all, I want to thank Paul Calandra, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Vijay Thanigasalam, the Associate Minister of Housing, Sam Oosterhoff, the Member of Provincial Parliament for Niagara West, and the Associate Minister of Energy, help me out.
Go with that.
Associate Minister of Energy. Jim Bradley, our Regional Chair, as well as Jenny Stevens, our MPP here in St. Catharines, Cameron Bannock, the Director of Housing Services for the Niagara Regional Housing, Adrian Juglé, the Commissioner of Community Services in Niagara Region, Kathy Cousins, the Director of Homelessness and Engagement in Niagara Region, Nicole Cortez, the Manager of Homeless Operations at Niagara Region, and St. Catharines CEO David Oakes. Your presence here today is greatly appreciated, and it demonstrates once again the importance of this development for our community. I'm truly honored to be here at the future site of the 320 Geneva Street development. This project represents a significant step forward for our city, and I'm excited about the positive impact that it will have. This ambitious project, which will unfold in 3 distinct phases, is set to transform a former city-owned property, which was gifted to the region, to turn it into residential development that will help support residents and families alike here in the Garden City. This was the former site of our Parks and Recreation building, but it was the decision of St. Catharines Council to transfer it rather than sell it on the open market because we understood the need and the demand here in St. Catharines for this form of housing. I want to thank you all for being here today and for your continued support of our community's growth. And without further ado, I'd like to invite Minister Paul Calandra to the podium.
Perfect. Thank you, man. So I'll just be really deliberately brief because some of the others have done more work on it and they should get the credit for what's happening here today. But I just want to thank the Mayor and of course the Chair, and then my favorite opposition colleague who does a lot of work for you all as well. Look, let me just say this. I think you all know how lucky you are to have the Mayor as your Mayor. He is a powerhouse at AMO and an extraordinary powerhouse at the big city mayors because he's not afraid to look outside of the box to bring solutions to the community. And of course, marry that with the extraordinary leadership of the Chair, and you're really, really well served. So we're very, very excited to be back here in St. Catharines, following up on the BFF, the Building Faster Fund money that we were able to announce not long ago. There's a lot of good and exciting things happening, not only here in St. Catharines, but across Niagara. So I can't thank you enough, Mayor, Chair, for your partnership. I barely was able to see the Mayor at AMO because he's really all over the place. It was unbelievable the amount of work that I think you'll agree with me, Chair. Like I can't keep up to him. So you're very, very lucky with that. So look, with that, I'll just end it there, and with that, I'll ask Minister Oosterhoff to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Calandra. And, you know, Minister Calandra has been very, very busy over the past week. As I'm sure you know, there were over 700 delegations at the AMO conference in Ottawa. And yesterday already he was here in Niagara after that, after those delegations wrapped up at noon. He was here by late afternoon to make sure that he was seeing some of the needs here in the Niagara region and also the opportunities. And one of the pieces that we've spoken about, of course, is housing needs, the importance of getting more housing built and ensuring that we have attainable housing for people here in the province of Ontario, that we're meeting our targets to build more and more housing and ensuring that there are market-ready units in every corner of this province and in every corner of our region. But we also recognize the importance of supporting the most vulnerable in our society and ensuring that we have homelessness supports and through our homelessness prevention program that we're investing in local municipalities to have the tools that they need on the ground to work collaboratively with these kinds of innovative projects. And I know the Mayor spoke about how this was a site that was not in use, and they had a choice. They could have said we're going to sell this on the open market, but they decided at the city that they understood the importance of investing in their community and ensuring that people who really, really need that bed, who need that opportunity for a place to lay their head as they look for a more permanent spot, have a place to stay. And so today I'm very pleased to share that our government is continuing the work that we have done to support the region of Niagara and the city of St. Catharines. Yesterday, I spoke with the Premier about the investments that are coming into the Niagara region. And we're seeing those investments in every corner of our economy. We're seeing massive investments in the manufacturing sector coming down into southern region. We've seen every corner of this region growing when it comes to 2 new hospitals coming online. We're seeing investments in infrastructure, new schools. As I was driving here, driving past schools that were under renovation, under construction. But one of the pieces that we have to do is make sure that everyone is able to participate in that success. And so I was very pleased that last year we were able to share the news that through the Homelessness Prevention Program, we saw an 86% increase in annualized funding coming to the region of Niagara. And I don't want to play partisan politics, but I have to say that for many years, the region of Niagara and the municipalities in Niagara advocated with the government of all stripes to say, our formula isn't fair to Niagara, we need to have more supports for our homelessness program. And so to see that increase go from just shy of $11 million to $21 million in annualized increase, that is a tremendous amount of investment into projects like this. And it's because of the leadership of people like Minister Thanigasalam and Minister Calandra, who go out and meet with municipal leaders like the regional chair, like the mayor, and say, at the end of the day, we need to get results. We need to get the job done. And so to share a little bit more about what it looks like to get the job done for people in Niagara, and specifically to support those who are unhoused in our community, I'm going to welcome the Associate Minister for Housing, Vijay Thanigasalam, to share some specifics about the program funding for this important announcement. Welcome, Vijay.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here at St. Catharines. First of all, thanks to Minister Calandra and Premier Ford for their leadership, and I would also like to acknowledge MPP Sam Oosterhoff for his advocacy and for his hard work to get this announcement ready. And it's also great to be joined by the local MPP, Regional Chair Jim Bradley, and St. Catharines Mayor Matt Cisco. And I want to start off by saying that under the leadership of Premier Ford and Minister Calandra, projects like this are really becoming possible, not just in Niagara Falls, across the region. And projects like this are critical to the community. As Minister Calandra working on these projects, the province of Ontario is investing more than $6.1 million to support these 2 projects that we are announcing today. Again, that's $6.1 million for these 2 projects. And this funding will help to help people experiencing or at risk of homelessness in St. Catharines. And I'm pleased to speak about the Rio Grande Shelter Project. It consists of 50 modular repurposed trailer units used to provide emergency shelters. Projects offers year-round, all-day shelter across for adults facing homelessness in this community. Residents will receive on-site access to case management services and referrals for additional community supports related to mental health, physical health, as well as addressing addiction and other needs. The shelter, absolutely. The shelter is conveniently situated near the essential services, including the public transit, pharmacies, and recreational facilities. Beginning in 2023 to 2024, our government began investing additional $202 million investment annually in Ontario's homelessness prevention program and Indigenous supportive housing program. And this brings Ontario's total yearly investment in these programs close to $700 million. The additional funding is helping those experiencing or at risk of homelessness, providing service managers with a flexible, predictable source of funding to help meet local needs. The funding can also be used to build more supportive housing, and the projects we are celebrating today are great examples of how our government is helping communities, and will continue to working with our partners in the sector to ensure everyone in Ontario has a home that meets their needs and budget. At this point, I will once again, thank Premier Ford for his leadership and thank Minister Calandra for taking up this task. And of course, thank Minister and MPP Oosterhoff for his continuous advocacy, not just in the housing sector, throughout all the project that has been undergone in Niagara region. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Good afternoon. I'm MPP Jenny Stevens for the City of St. Catharines. Thank you. I want to welcome everyone here to St. Catharines this afternoon for this wonderful announcement of possibly 68 units that are going to be on a vacant lot. I have to thank the City of St. Catharines for their advocacy, and as well the Niagara Regional staff and Regional Chair Bradley for their advocacy to make sure that we have 68 units coming to a vacant property right here in St. Catharines. I also want to thank Minister Calandra for coming to St. Catharines. Welcome to St. Catharines, and I have to see him more often, don't we? With wonderful news here for St. Catharines, as well as MPP Oosterhoff and Minister Tislanga. Now, 68 units takes 68 people off the streets. It takes them out of encampments. It takes them out of, gives them a roof over their head, which is human rights. I think that this is going to be a wonderful project moving forward for the City of St. Catharines, and I want to thank the unsung heroes, most of all for the Niagara Regional staff that has worked behind the scenes to make sure that this project, it gets up off the grounds for our community. As we all know, affordable housing is key to survival of people, to be able to become part of citizens of the region and make sure that they have a place to sleep, a place to call home, and most of all, to make sure that they feel part of society. Thank you for all who is welcomed here today. Thank you for having me.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Bradley. I have the job of Chair of the Regional Municipality of Niagara. And on behalf of Regional Council, it's my pleasure to officially welcome Minister Calandra, Minister Thanigasalam, and I'm getting used to saying this now, MPP and Minister Oosterhoff. By the way, I can reveal this because it's a significant milestone in his life. You won't believe this. The guy who got elected at age of 19 to the Ontario Legislature is 27 today. Like a round of applause for that. Your presence underscores our shared commitment to tackling the housing and homelessness crisis that exists across Ontario, and this project is just one example of how we're doing our part to address this challenge. Today marks a significant milestone as we unveil the development plans for 320 Geneva Street. This project, a collaborative effort between the City of St. Catharines, Niagara Region, and Niagara Regional Housing, will bring dozens of new units of supportive and affordable housing to our community. Today's Phase 1 announcement includes bridge housing and health-based programming, two initiatives that have proven to be immensely successful at other regional facilities. The site will also feature a teaching kitchen and private meeting space for community agencies to support their clients. This location will be staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ensuring that clients' needs are met regardless of the time of day or the day of week. As Regional Chair, I'm pleased to see this initiative moving forward. When this term started back in 2022, it was clear that the housing crisis needed to be one of Regional Councillors' top priorities. This project is a clear demonstration of our unwavering commitment to tackle this challenge across the entire region, and in particular in this case with the City of St. Catharines. While the causes behind the housing crisis are complex and nuanced, we are aligned with our partners in the provincial government and their desire to see more people have a safe and affordable place to call home. This project is a positive step in the right direction. I want to extend my gratitude to our provincial partners for their continued support and dedication to this project and others. Together, the province, region, and city are making strides toward a future where everyone in our community has accessible to safe and affordable housing. Thank you all for being here today, and I look forward to witnessing the positive impact this development will have on our community. And now it's my pleasure to, I believe, turn it back to the Mayor of the City of St. Catharines and Regional Council for St. Catharines, my friend Matt Cisco.
Thank you to everybody for their comments today. Before we open the floor to media questions, I did want to highlight the remarkable commitment demonstrated throughout the 320 Geneva Street project. This initiative really truly embodies the provincial government and regional council's dedication to increasing the availability of affordable and attainable housing. As the Mayor of St. Catharines, tackling this housing crisis is my top priority and has been since I came into office, and it's a goal that is strongly supported by both our City Council and our Regional Council. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our provincial partners for their exceptional support in providing $6.1 million through the Homeless Prevention Program funding. And I want to also acknowledge something that Minister Osherhoff mentioned, the fact that while Niagara has been disadvantaged for a long time, this government did come forward last year with an 86% increase, and those dollars are being largely spent for the time being here in St. Catharines, where we know that the homelessness problem has reached a peak across the region. The generous contribution will be instrumental in the development of 65 new units, which are crucial for addressing immediate housing needs within our community. This funding not only provides essential resources for creating these units, but also reflects a strong commitment to combating homelessness and supporting those who are most in need. Our provincial partners are helping the region to lay the foundation for a brighter future for many individuals and families. So a heartfelt thank you to the provincial government, to the Niagara region, to the Niagara Regional Housing staff, and our city staff for their collaboration in this project. The collective efforts have been instrumental in turning this vision into a reality, and they demonstrate how collaboration between the levels of government continues to get better every day. We're here to provide any additional information and discuss how this project and the provincial funding will positively impact St. Catharines and the Niagara region. And at this time, if there are any questions from the media, there is a microphone set up, and now would be the time.
Yes, so if you have a question, come up to the microphone, just say your name and outlet, and we'll do one question, one follow-up.
Hi, I'm Bill Sawchuk from the St. Catharines Standard. I have a question for the minister. Hi. What do you say to, 20-somethings in St. Catharines who can't afford to live here? The average apartment is $1,800 right now. An average home is over $400,000. Many of the jobs here are low-paying service jobs. The occupancy rates for rental housing are almost 100%. What is your government doing, and what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, look, that is a great question. It has been the number one thing that has preoccupied us since coming to office back in 2018. We've been working with our municipal partners, and we've been saying very clearly to all of them that we have to do better to make it easier to build more homes across the province of Ontario. Look, we have said 1.5 million homes, and nobody should be under any illusion. We are going to hit that 1.5 million home target, and we're going to do it of all types of homes. We're going to remove obstacles to getting that done. We announced a new provincial planning statement yesterday that makes it easier to build more homes across the province of Ontario. It ensures that each community has affordable housing targets. It makes it it puts more housing, higher densities along our transit corridors. It insists that all communities have an affordable housing target, but that is just the start, right? That is just the start. We have to do more on ensuring that we get sewer and water capacity in communities. We've heard time and time again from communities across, from the mayor has been a huge advocate of this, the chair, your local MPPs have all been, that we got to get sewer and water capacity up so that they can actually build the homes, all types of homes. And let me just conclude by saying this. Before the interest rate hikes that we saw, and to put it into context, the interest rate hikes were the fastest hikes in the shortest period of time in the country's history. Before that happened, we were building more purpose-built rentals than at any other time in the history of the province, and we were smashing through our housing targets. We were building more homes than we had ever done before, and what we're trying to do now is to end the cycle of up and down or boom and bust and ensure that there is a consistent supply of new housing. It is the number one job of all of us. We all, I promised this last time, you always hear politicians say we're doing it for the next generation, we're doing it for our kids. Well, now is the time for us to show that we actually mean that. Now is the time to actually get the shovels in the ground, remove the obstacles, and give all of those people who want to buy their first home the opportunity to have it. It is the #1 dream of every generation, is to have the next one do better than they have done, and we're going to make sure that we get that done for them. Sorry, it was a long answer. I get really passionate about that. We got to get the job done, 100%.
My other question has to do with governance. There was meetings held here in the winter, and where does that stand now? Certainly, with what happened in Brampton and Mississauga, that seemed to be in terms of we got 123. Politicians in Niagara for less than 500,000 people, and after what happened in Mississauga and Brampton, it seems to be a step in the back. Where are we in Niagara with governance?
Yeah, no, we're still reviewing that. The parliamentary committee has had a number of stops across in this region as well, and I know the presentations before the committee have been very diverse. There have been especially in this region, there have been a lot of recommendations. I believe the committee has almost done its work, and will begin writing recommendations, which I'm anticipating that they will be presenting to the House by the end of the year. We're still very much looking at how we can improve governance across not only just Niagara, but across all of the province of Ontario. The work that we're doing in Peel Region is going to help us illuminate some of the ways that we can make it easier, better, and make local government more accountable at the same time. But I expect the committee will wrap up its business soon and report back in the fall. Yeah, thanks.
I'm not with a news source. I live just down the way, and I've met some of you inside of council meetings and outside of protests and stuff like that. I'm one of the 39-year-olds that live in this area. I've lived in those apartment buildings since 1996. One of our own, Rasclaff, actually said that a lot of the people that are inside of those apartment buildings are living inside of jail cells waiting for things like this to be built. 65 units when our council just okayed a 562 unit building at the end that's going to cause a lot of issues for this area. And I'm sorry, I know that I'm not supposed to use the words affordable because that's not what we want. We actually want attainable housing, everyone. Attainable is the word that we're supposed to be using. Affordable is paid by the government. Attainable is when you work and you finally can afford something. That's attainable housing, just so everyone knows, because I've already fought for everyone. I went house to house, door to door, trying to help this area. We sit here holding this as we have over 20 people in the park across the street. There's a man that's been at the bus stop all day as I've been doing my rounds and trying to do things.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. I appreciate your passion and the emotion that you bring to this. But 65 units is a start for this particular site across the province of Ontario.
My sister was on the housing list her entire life, and she died. We never got housing.
Allow me the courtesy to finish. You've asked a question. I want to tell you what it is that we are all doing across the province of Ontario, because you hit the nail on the head, right? There's a reason why you're going out and about and you're trying to help people. There's a reason why you're so passionate. People want to have a hand up. They are looking for other opportunities. It's about attainable housing, yes. It's about affordable housing, yes. It's about wraparound services so that the people who are on the streets can actually have the dignity of a home. We were just at the project that the minister announced earlier on Riordan. It's wraparound services. Those are people who would have otherwise been on the street who are getting care. The region has taken a leadership role in doing that. And it's not just about Niagara, it is about the entire province. We can do things better, and that is what these investments are about. The reason we are coming here is we want to highlight what we're doing, but more importantly than that is to show the local community that we can make a difference, that when you bring projects like this into a community that has the services, that has the great staff, the regional staff, that we can make a difference in their lives. And that is what this is all about. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate your passion. It is for exactly that reason that we are making the investments that we're making across the province of Ontario, and that we are insisting that people begin to see a difference. The era of talking is over. The era of action is well under its way. And I know the mayor, maybe you might want to add to that. And thank you for your question.
And I appreciate the comments of the minister, but I need to express just how desperately we do need the housing. We need Niagara Regional Housing. That's why I'm on the board. That's why I've been pushing for additional housing units through Niagara Regional Housing, because you're right, there is a massive wait list. In some cohorts of the population, we're talking tens of years, which is frankly not acceptable and something that we have to rectify. It's why we built the units on Carlton Street. It's why we are building these units. It's why there are builds going on across the region. It's why Cam Bannock and the rest of the team in Niagara Regional Housing continue to bring forward opportunities where we can build more housing. This last night, I was having a conversation with the Lord Mayor of Niagara-on-the-Lake about a small parcel of land that we have in St. Catharines that potentially we could partner on to put more housing units on. Anything that we can get built as quickly as possible. Your argument and your concern is 100% right. It takes a long time to get this built. And the tragedy of this situation is, before the Carlton Street build a couple of years ago, regional housing hadn't been built in the city of St. Catharines in 40 years. That's not acceptable. This is the population center of the region. Former mayor made sure that that build happened. I'm doing everything in my power to ensure that further builds are happening. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we have partnerships like the partnership we have with the provincial government and the region right now on this property. This property won't be affordable housing in the way we think about it. The vast majority of it is going to be bridge and transition housing for people that are currently homeless, that have nowhere that they can live. But going forward, there's plans for additional affordable housing units on this site, just like we're creating plans for additional affordable housing units across the city. I will say, though, it's not just affordable housing that we need, and this is something that gets lost a lot of the time. We have a problem with the continuum of housing. The reality is that there's nowhere for people currently in affordable housing to move. One of the problems we identified last year when our budget came in with a very tiny increase in Niagara Regional Housing, we made the argument to council that this is not a good news story. That means that the people that are currently living in Niagara Regional Housing units can actually afford to pay market rents and are paying more. But because there are no purpose-built rentals anywhere in the city, there's nowhere for them to be able to move. And this is the argument we've been making, and this is why we have to approve the projects that come forward to us, because we need somewhere for those folks who can afford market-based rentals. They need units to be able to move into to clear open the spaces that could be used for folks who need rent guaranteed income and other subsidization. So I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your urgency. This is something that we've been talking about and trying to get other people to understand. And the reality is, some of it is going to come from the provincial government. Some of those dollars are going to have to come from the local tax base, but we have to continue to build Niagara Regional Housing. It's our only option at this point. Because otherwise we're going to continue to have long wait lists, and that's not acceptable.
I just don't think it's fair to keep blaming people that got regional housing and stayed in it and paid their dues, paid for their upgrades and everything like that. I don't think it's fair to blame them.
We're not blaming them. And I will tell you.
You have in the past. And I've sat with you through council because you've blamed me before for things. It's fine. I will walk away. But again, I live here. I know their names in that field. I know them. I have to go out there tonight because I got to do a food drop-off. Does anybody else here know the names? Any official know the names of the people on this street?
On this street, no. At Pierpoint,
no.
though. At Richard Pierpoint Park, where there are encampments.
Jenny, I know you know, girl. I know you for so many things, but I'm sorry.
But a number of us do the work. That's fine. I will just finish by saying that at no point has anybody blamed the folks in Niagara Regional Housing, and I think that's unfortunate characterization. The reality is, those folks want to be able to move into market-based rentals as well. They don't have the option. With that, I do appreciate the questions from the media and others, and I want to wrap up by talking about how pivotal this project is. The St. Catharines made an effort over the last couple of years to move into a partnership on this property, but unfortunately market forces dictated that we couldn't. Again, it was the announcement of additional HPP funding that occurred last year that started to create the germination of a seed and the idea that we could partner with Niagara Region on this. And I want to commend Niagara Regional staff, Adrian Juglé, Kathy Cousins, Cam Bannock, and Dave Oakes at the City of St. Catharines for really pushing this forward. The commitment from the provincial government and from regional council, along with local partners, exemplifies what we are trying to accomplish. And as we conclude today, I want to invite all of our speakers and our attendees to gather for a group photo to celebrate this announcement. Thank you, everybody, for participating today.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes. We have to be finished before the end of next year, so shovels this year. Thank you. You're welcome.